I've got some ice cream. I got some Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, was it on offer?
It was, yeah, it was £2.50 a pint.
You
Ooh.
only ever buy Ben and Jerry's, the tubs of Ben and Jerry's, when it's on offer. I don't think anyone ever buys it full price, ever. Because like full price for a tub of Ben and Jerry's is about £6. I love me some Ben and Jerry's, but that is a lot of money for a tub of ice cream.
Hello and welcome to episode 183 of Heroes of Handheld. This is 183, 18E3. More like we're going to be talking about all the announcements. Well, not all of them. We're going to talk about the ones that kind of we think are worth discussing, including stuff for the Switch, a little bit of Xbox One, a little bit of PlayStation Vita as well in a curveball, and some Nintendo 3DS and stuff as well. My name is Chris, and I'm joined by, I would say, he's got an over-average number of followers on Instagram. It's Colin Burton.
I recently made my Instagram private.
Why?
Because, I only want I don't want like those bots and those spam accounts following me. I just want the proper people, And it's great because now you get like a notification when someone wants to follow you, like a request. And the only people who request to follow me are like the bots and the fake ones. So
you won.
Sometimes I win. But here's the thing, Chris. If you had to choose between a multi-pack of Magnums and a multi-pack of Cornettos, what would you go for?
What flavor Cornetto are they?
Oh, I'm gonna say the regular.
Actually, that is less important. More important is what flavor Magnum are they?
Has to be the white chocolate Magnums.
I'm gonna say instance. I'd say Cornetto. I think the white chocolate Magnums are fairly overrated. I think the caramel Magnums are where it's at.
The problem with eating a Magnum is that when you bite into it, it all just crumbles away and it's like falls on the ground.
It does. It really does.
A Cornetto, like you can keep in one shape and you can just enjoy it. And the cone, oh, it's just great. I really want to know. It's so hot. It's so hot, people. I can't even. I know we probably talk about this every summer, but why is it so hot? Because I swear, normally we get loads of news stories about there being a heat wave and like months of hot weather and now summer's here. But this just seemed to come out of nowhere. Did people predict this hot weather? I don't get it. I am very surprised. I'm very confused and surprised by this. But you're lucky you've got Ben and Jerry's. Before we get onto the actual podcast, what flavor of Ben and Jerry's have you got? You didn't actually say.
I think we actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but I finished the Reese's Pieces one.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on a cookie dough one, which is obviously the best one.
Yeah, that is good.
I used to be about the double chocolate brownie, but now I'm about that cookie dough life.
If I get a Ben and Jerry's tub, it has to be the core ones. They are so good with the big really central caramel layer. Oh, absolutely amazing. But I don't know if you find this. Do you find that it takes ages to properly defrost Ben and Jerry's when you get out of the freezer?
Yeah, you have to microwave it, don't you?
You can't microwave ice cream. I'm against that, mate.
Why?
Because like that's one stop. You're asking to go. You're asking to get ill basically by doing that.
No, you're not.
Mate, you don't microwave.
Why are you
ice
asking to get ill by melting ice cream in the microwave?
It doesn't seem kosher, It seems a bit dodgy. I'm not in. Don't like it. Anyway, E3 happened, people. Yay! Another E3 has come and gone. I don't know if it's still going on. I think the last day was yesterday, actually. We've had the conferences from all the big developers and the big companies, the big three, and we've got some opinions on it. But before we get into our thoughts on who won it and our, most the games we're looking forward to the most, Chris, did you get to watch any of the live?
The only one I watched live was I watched as much of the Nintendo one as I could whilst I was at work, so I kind of had it playing in the background. Right. The others were at such weird times that there was just no way of doing it, really, was there?
Yeah, I watched a bit of Microsoft's one. That was about 10 o'clock at night, or it was 11 o'clock at night on the Sunday, I think it was. Or was it the Monday? It was the first one of the big three. So I got to watch a bit of that, which was really great. It was so good. I was so interested. And I love all dem exclusives, though. Anyway.
Yeah, the Microsoft one seemed to be really well received, if only for how good the Scorpio looks.
But did it look? I don't get the Scorpio. Fair enough, it's more powerful than the PS4 Pro. It's got like a liquid coolant thing that can like power nuclear bombs or something like that, and it's supposed to be amazing. And it's a bit smaller than the normal Xbox. That's all well and good, but if I just don't think it's worth getting unless you've got a 4K TV, and that's where my issue is. Because I don't have a 4K TV, and that's going to set you back about $1,000. And then you got this console. It's not even called the Scorpio. It's called the Xbox XY 1, 2, 3. Was it the Xbox? No, the Xbox One X. That's what it's called, isn't it? Too many X's for my liking.
The XBOX, aka the Xbox.
Too many abbreviations in that sentence. I didn't like it. Right. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't that impressed by the Xbox One X. It looked pretty, I guess, but at that price point, I think we're looking at about £429. It's going to go for. Is it a bit more than that?
I believe it's around that much. Yeah.
Which is how much the original Xbox One was when that came out, and a lot of people didn't like that price. So a lot of people aren't happy with that high price point, but. I just think it's not something I'd ever want to invest in because I'd have to get
450. It looks like it's
even more. So yeah, I don't have a 4K TV, so I know it'll still look nice on my telly because I don't know the ins and outs of the technology, but I think they've said it'll still look good on your standard TV because of how they programmed it or something. But to get the full effect of the Xbox One X, you'd need a 4K TV, which I do not have, and that will cost about £1,000. Then you got this for about £500 pretty much when you get your games and whatever, and you're looking about £1,500 for a games console, which pretty much the only benefit of getting it is that it's going to look a bit nicer on your telly. That's pretty much the only real reason to get it, isn't it? Or am I missing something here? It just looks a bit nicer when you play it.
I mean, you know more about this than me. I've never really been keen on Xbox.
Yeah, I just don't get it. It's not for me. I'm sure there is a market for it, but yeah, whatever. That was their big thing. They pretty much announced that straight away. Then they got onto the games. So we saw game. What really confused me about this year's E3 is that they were announcing these games and they're making a big hoo-ha about certain games, which had been teased before. So the big one I was thinking of was Sea of Thieves, which is that Xbox game that was all discussed last year. And they're talking about it again this year. And people are going, oh, this game's coming, even though we've known about it for like ages. And it's not coming out till like the end of next year. Why is it taking so long? It's like these games, they give a teaser at E3. Well, it wasn't even the teaser last year for Sea of Thieves, that pirate game, because they actually showed proper gameplay for it. And we still have to wait pretty much a year and a half. That confused me. There are instances like that. And there are other games they discussed, and there wasn't very many, console exclusives. Interesting that they didn't have anything to do with Halo. That would have instantly got people's ears pricked up and more excited about it. There was nothing to do with Halo. Obviously, Gears of War only came out last year, so there wouldn't be anything to do with that. But one of the interesting things that Microsoft always do is they always make a big song and dance about their racing game. I'm just going to load up the article here. Is it Forza that their racing game is? I've never really been a great fan of racing games, apart from Test Drive 5 on the PS1. That was a brilliant, brilliant game. But apart from that, I've never really been that interested. And obviously, that's a big console exclusive for Microsoft and the Xbox One. So, yeah. They made a big deal out of that. Crackdown 3, they made a big thing about that. That's finally coming out after years and years of people wanting it. And probably the only other good thing is the fact that they're bringing some original Xbox games to backwards compatibility. So you can play your original Xbox games on your Xbox One if you feel the need to do that. But yeah, I wasn't that impressed by Microsoft's conference. But actually saying that, the one game that I thought looked pretty cool that was showcased at the Microsoft conference is this one. Favorite. I'm missing the chorus here.
I don't wanna do the things you do. I'm never gonna hear the words you say. And I don't ever wanna be you. Don't wanna be just like you. All what I'm saying is this is the anthem.
There you go. Worth it.
The anthem.
Yes, the anthem. They spoke about the game called Anthem, Chris.
God, we got there in the end, didn't we?
Sure. Honestly, I kept skipping it and kept missing the main word. So Anthem, which is the latest game coming out from BioWare. Actually, the team who are developing this are mostly made up of people who worked on the original Mass Effect trilogy, which already got me excited. But it looks really cool. It looks very similar to Destiny. In the way it plays. It's like a multiplayer game. They've said it's built around online servers, so exploring this open world called Anthem, which is a hostile environment where there's like weather elements and creatures always trying to attack you. What I would say from the gameplay they showed, the facial animations on the characters were pretty darn impressive, which begs the question, why were the ones in Mass Effect Andromeda so darn bad, Chris?
Yeah, it looks really promising, doesn't it? And it's almost like, did you have the A team working on this and the B team working on Mass Effect, which seems like an odd choice.
That's what people are thinking. That's why there was a lot of problems with Mass Effect Andromeda, the facial expressions, the glitches. They think that they put all their priorities into Anthem and then, just as you say, gave Mass Effect Andromeda to the B team, which would be sad if they did. But I think it looks good. It's spacey. It's BioWare. It looks similar to Destiny. I think it looks good. So that was the main, for me, that was the best part of Microsoft's conference. And obviously it was slightly teased at the BioWare conference as well. But can we quickly just, obviously we're going to get onto the big two, Sony and Nintendo. Can we please mention how great Bethesda's conference was?
Yeah, really, really great, Colin. The thing is, right, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like as a gamer that they brought out, so Bethesda are funny because they brought out this little title about 6 years ago called The Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Really tiny title, little budget, tiny team, real indie release. And it's been really hard to get hold of because the thing is, they brought this game out and then it's just been so hard to track down. You know, there were rumors of a Game of the Year version, and then there's been rumors of a next gen version for PS4 and Xbox One. I mean, I never saw it. So hard to find. Yeah, and now apparently, finally, they've given the fans what they want, and another opportunity to play it on the Switch.
Woo! And you can dress up as bloody Link. Amazing.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year
every time there's a thread about this on Reddit, it's like 90% people being like, "What's the point?" and 10% being like, "You can play it on the go." It's like, all right, great, but it's out. It's been out for 6 years.
No way is it 6 years. 6 years since it came out.
6 years. It came out 11/11/11.
Oh, that is insane.
It's in November. Yeah,
that's crazy. Mad. The best meme I saw on Reddit was E3, Bethesda's E3s for the next few years, and it was like next year will be like introducing Skyrim Microwave, and there was like Skyrim Rock Edition, just like Skyrim on a rock. So yeah, a lot of people are hating on that Reddit. I swear every year for E3 there's always something that people hate on, and people have just stuck to this Bethesda and Skyrim thing. But I think I was in the minority where I really wanted details about the Skyrim, the Switch version of Skyrim, because I've actually never played it, if you can believe that. I've somehow managed to avoid it, and that was an element of what had me interested in the Switch, because I could play it on there. But I don't think did we get a release date for the Switch version?
Let's have a look.
I couldn't see anything, but your journalistic abilities are better than mine, so you'll probably find it straight away.
Well, I'm just Googling it.
Great. That's brilliant. But yeah, the only
holiday 2017
Great.
looks like.
I haven't even got a proper release date. Well, that's really good.
Hang on, I'll keep looking. You keep talking.
Well, I was going to say that the main thing that they showcased, but the only different thing about it is that you can dress up as Link. Like you could put your character in a green outfit, and it was just like, okay, why, what? Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. Next, you'll be having. Wouldn't it be great if you could play as Mario in Skyrim? Come on, that would be amazing.
Can but dream.
That would be amazing.
So yeah, I mean, great. Some people will play it, and I guess like, you don't have to buy it, but it's the trailer. The music they used on that trailer was so weird as well. It was so like Wazzy and Snaffy.
Wazzy and Snaffy was my cover band in high school.
Very good.
Thanks. I'm here all week, mate. It's great. Actually, one more thing I want to discuss before we get into the main meat and veg is we had a mobile game announced from the team who are bringing the South Park. Am I saying this right? Is it the whole butthole, the butthole, the Big Ripper? What's that South Park game that's coming out?
Yeah, there's something butthole, isn't it?
Yeah, so
I can't remember what it is though.
Sealed up butthole or something like that. Some funny name. So they're actually releasing a mobile title, and this is being developed by both the South Park Digital Studios and Ubisoft's company Red Lynx. It's going to be coming out later this year. It's called South Park Phone Destroyer. And if you know what South Park is, then you're going to know what the sort of humor is going to be like in it. The game itself is a card collection and battle title where you put together a team of characters to defeat your opponents. There's strategy, PvP battles, and terrible jokes right on your phone, so the chaos can follow you wherever you go. So this is interesting, and the good thing about this is that it's going to be free. And what the developers have said is that it doesn't matter how you play the game. If you do spend money, if you don't spend money, it'll still be the same experience either way, which is pretty good. There's not going to be anything behind paywalls, which is good to see. But with Ubisoft, I'll believe that when I see it. But I mean, it looks really cool.
I was going to say it's easy for them to say that, but until you actually play it, it's like, yeah,
you just don't know. There is a trailer for it, which looks really funny. I love South Park, so this is right up my street. But the game is called South Park: The Fractured Butthole. That's what the game's called. Love that name. The Fractured Butthole. And that's coming out October 17th. But the South Park, that's been delayed so many times, I swear. I think initially it was supposed to come out at the beginning of this year. But yeah, it's called South Park Phone Destroyer, the mobile game, coming out later this year. And it's coming out on iOS and Android as well. I would imagine probably at the same time. But as soon as we get more information on that, I'm sure we will give you the deets. So that's all good. Right, Chris, should we just move straight on to the two main companies we care about, Sony and Nintendo? Where do you want to start? Because I think we've got more to talk about on the Nintendo side of things.
Yeah,
Sony.
let's do Sony. So I didn't watch this one live, but I'm guessing that you've caught up with the news since.
I didn't watch it either, but I've got a long list of games that they announced and things they revealed and things like that. But I think the overriding thing about Sony's press conference and PlayStation's press conference is that there wasn't that many surprises.
No, they basically showed videos for a lot of things that are coming out either late this year or early next year. So for me, I mean, they showed a big look at Uncharted, the DLC Lost Legacy, which comes out in August.
Sorry, is Lost Legacy DLC or is it an actual game? Is it a proper game?
Well, it's billed as single player DLC, but I don't know if you need the base game. I think it's a separate thing, like The Last of Us Left Behind. I think it's that sort of vibe. Right. So they showed some gameplay for that and a story trailer. They showed the first trailer for Horizon's Zero Dawn's DLC, The Frozen
Isn't that the
Wilds.
game you love? Isn't that the game you absolutely worship? Is it that one?
Horizon is a very strong game. This DLC looks quite interesting. It's got a big tundra feel. Obviously, there are big parts of the map in Horizon which are frozen anyway, but this looks like a whole separate level of cold. You're dressed in like snow pelts and stuff, right. And not quite clear whether it's set before or after. So I guess we'll have to wait to get more info on that.
Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't show off any new monsters. I will be keen if they show off new creatures, but because they didn't show any, I'm a bit like, oh.
Right.
So, but I'm assuming they're working on some.
I'm really surprised. I thought you'd be all over that. I didn't actually watch the trailer for it, but I know you really loved that. Was the game where you were completely obsessed with? Yeah. So I'm surprised you're not more excited because there any. I mean, have you finished the main campaign for that game?
Yeah,
or?
I've
Right.
well, I platinumed it. Do you remember?
Oh, of course, yeah, you said you were.
Yeah, like I mean, don't get me wrong. I am keen for it. I'm just a little bit trepidatious that there's not going to be that much kind of content.
Oh, but another big one that you also would like, Monster Hunter World, was
which
revealed as well.
although right, a point about this which has pissed me off. Actually, sorry.
Right.
So
Okay.
Monster Hunter World is coming to PS4 and Xbox One, and you'll remember last week Monster Hunter XX got announced for Switch. Now Capcom have said that they're not going to bring XX out in the West because they're bringing Monster Hunter World out instead. But World isn't confirmed to be coming out for Switch. So Nintendo and Monster Hunter have had such a good relationship over the last couple of years.
Become to Switch,
and now it looks like in the West.
Surely.
Well, they've not said it is. It doesn't look like it's going to be.
That's strange.
So
That's very odd. Yeah, because most of our Monster
yeah,
Hunter
but World looks really good.
Yeah, I mean the trailer looked really epic. It's coming to PS4 and Xbox One, isn't it? So it's not an exclusive to Sony. But yeah, it's interesting they didn't reveal anything regarding the Switch. I would be very surprised if it doesn't come to Switch at some point. Maybe they're going to reveal it a bit further down the line because it's not coming out till early next year, is it? So there is still time. But you would think that would be a main game that Nintendo would want to showcase because whenever we get our news, Monster Hunter fix on this podcast, I swear it's always from the Nintendo side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And Nintendo and Monster Hunter have had this really great relationship for years now, since the one started coming out on Wii. So yeah, it's an odd one.
Other games that were revealed, I mean, we got more details about Call of Duty World of War 2. I must say, the multiplayer trailer did look really, really cool. Really liking what they're doing with that. That's coming out November 3rd. What else did we have? Oh, we had a better look at Days Gone. That's another game that was first revealed last year. So we got another look at Days Gone, which is that massive, huge zombie game where there's like hordes and hordes of zombies chasing you down. And you have to use your environment to kill them and things like that. What else did we have? The one that I'd probably say my highlight from Sony's conference was probably the Spider-Man gameplay trailer we got.
Yes,
which is pretty much
the whole 8 minutes.
Pretty much Spider-Man Arkham Spider. Really, looking at it, you can see they've taken a lot of influences from the Arkham games. I mean, I saw when I was watching the gameplay trailer, I watched most of it. It was good to see that my boy from Daredevil was in it, Fisk, bloody Kingpin, awesome. Love the Kingpin. But didn't you think, looking at the battle system, the fighting system, it was pretty much just a rip-off of the one from Batman Arkham, the Arkham games?
Yeah, I mean, I think my personal take on it is that I think we're seeing the Spider-Man that we see in that trailer is so strong and developed that I wonder whether it's either taken from the end of the game where you're fully upgraded or you might lose your powers or something, because it seemed like it was just really easy. But it looks so good. I watched the whole 8, 9 minutes of it. I was like, I'll just give this a minute. But it seems so fluent and fun, and really breezy.
Yeah.
So it does look really good. Other things that Sony showed off, they showed Shadow of the Colossus is getting remade for PS4. It's a full-on remaster, which is very exciting because that game is obviously excellent. A load of PSVR stuff, including Skyrim for PSVR, just in case you didn't want to get the Switch, Colin.
What's Skyrim? What is that? Indie developer. Anyway.
Some vehicle for Inpatient, which is a set in the Until Dawn universe, but from I think it's 60 years before the events of Until Dawn. So lots of stuff to come, and a real big look at Detroit Become Human and the new God of War, which looks so good.
They're always going to milk more money out. They're going to milk more money out of the God of War cow. Definitely won't stop doing that.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, I mean that Detroit game looks awesome. Heavy Rain and that Two Souls game were brilliant. So I'm interested in that one. Apparently, it's about sad robots becoming mad robots, which has me all in. I love the sound of that. So yeah, I mean, it was okay. I think PlayStation's was good. No real knockout announcement there, really, and a lot of things we had seen before. But hey ho, what can you do? Right. So shall we move on to the big one, the one that we all care about, and that is Nintendo. Woo!
Yeah, loads of Nintendo news, loads of ways. It's also
Chris, your microphone sounds very roboty. Has a cable been unplugged?
No.
It sounds like it's really bad. Like it's bad, like interference on the line. Don't know why that is. Talk again.
Hello, Colin.
Perfect. There you go. You sound beautiful there.
So thanks. So the first thing we saw, even before the Nintendo conference, in the Ubisoft conference, was a first look at the Raving Rabbids Mario game, which has been rumored for a long time. We had leaked art last month, and then we finally saw our first look at it, and it's called Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Have you watched the trailer for this one, Colin?
I have not, so I was wanting you to explain to me why it looks so good.
It's coming out in August, and what it has really surprised everyone is that it's a turn-based combat game like XCOM. Now, it looks like you're going to be controlling Mario, Peach, Luigi, Yoshi, and Rabbids of each of those dressed up as them. They're all going to have different abilities and powers, and you're trying to make your way through these kind of combat levels. XCOM, if you've never played it, is like it's a turn-based shooter, basically. So you pick which troops you're going to move, you pick how you're going to kind of buddy up, what cover you're going to use, and then events play out as they do. The music for this is being composed by Grant Kirkhope, who's done some excellent work with Rare and Playtonic as well. I've been a really big fan of his work for a really long time. He's older than my dad as well. He's been in the game such a long time. But yeah, he's a really good composer. And this game is just, from something that sounded really shit, has ended up looking incredible. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's got your usual Mario colourful art style and things like that.
But we've never seen this type of game in the Mario universe before. I think it's just a really interesting choice for them. And hopefully it will have the Nintendo hallmark of quality that we come to expect.
It's a shame they couldn't use Rayman and Glowbox and those characters though.
I wonder. I think they'll turn up.
They must do, surely. If they've got the Rabbids in there, that's part of the same universe, isn't it? So they must make some sort of appearance. Yeah, I'm watching the announcement trailer. Looks interesting.
Maybe it'll be like, those in these sorts of video games, you get like a cutscene where, I don't know, the sky's exploding and you see loads of people looking up and being like, oh my.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this one and it is Rayman and Glowbox looking up.
That would be great. That would be cool. I'm looking at those Rabbids things. They just remind me of Minions, and I really don't like the Minions.
They're really big in like continental Europe. Rabbids are a really big brand, bigger than Rayman. People love it. They lap it up.
It's crazy. I don't get it. But, this game might come out and it might be the best game ever. But looking at the comments and the likes and dislikes on YouTube for the announcement trailer, though obviously it's mostly positive, there's a lot of dislikes on this. There's 15,000 likes and 2,000 dislikes, which is enough to make a little bit of a dent in that little blue bar that there is, which is interesting. So a lot of people aren't keen on those Rabbids either. But, I mean, if you think it looks good, hey, I'm willing to give it a go, And obviously a Rabbid dressed as Mario doing a moonwalk is surely the highlight of the whole of E3. Anyway, what else was announced at Nintendo's thing?
We also had the actual direct presentation started with this kind of smash cut of stuff. We're not going to have a chance to mention everything. Things like Xenoblade 2 will probably skip under our radar, but Rocket League is coming to Switch, and it will feature crossplay with the Xbox One version, as will Minecraft. This has been quite an interesting story, and there's been stuff breaking on it all of today, because basically it first came out the Xbox and Nintendo are going to have crossplay, and that was really exciting for Minecraft and for Rocket League. this is really cool. This is like for the gamers. This is everyone getting together. And then Sony said, oh, no, we're not doing that because we feel like we have we feel like we have a responsibility for people who play on Sony platforms, and they can't police people playing on other services, other platforms, which is, a bit of crap, but whatever. But it turns out that if you want to play crossplay on the Switch version, you're going to have to work out some sort of jimmy with an Xbox Live login, which just seems so daft.
What? Explain.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not really too much. That's why I said it's very much a breaking story, because I saw some post about it on Facebook earlier. But Mojang said that if you want to play Minecraft, you're going to have to log into your Xbox Live on the Switch.
Log into your Xbox Live on the Switch?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, right.
Yeah, so it's like suddenly a lot less interesting. So basically... the friendly update, blah, 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 blah. You will be, in a recent interview, Mojang CEO, this is from gamerpros.co, confirms you'll be able to log into Xbox Live on Switch in order to play the Microsoft-owned Minecraft. So it's just like, maybe that's why PlayStation didn't want to do it, because it's just going to, it sounds like it's already more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't know about that Xbox thing. That is a very interesting development. So maybe it's not.
It's a breaking story, so maybe it'll get refuted in the next couple of hours.
But anyway, back to Sony. Hashtag for the players. Anyway, let's move on. But I think Rocket League on Switch will be awesome. I think that's a great platform for it. Taking that on the go with you.
Yeah, and it'll suit the kind of plug-in and play mentality as well.
Definitely. So, I mean, one of the biggest things is that we didn't get too many details on this, but a Pokemon game, a full-on big Pokemon game, is coming to Switch apparently. But we didn't get many bits of information on this. Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, all that's happened is they came out and said that they are developing. Game Freak are working on a Pokemon core RPG game for Switch, but that's all the news we had. So, who knows what will happen next, and who knows how far away it will be, and all this nonsense. But it's cool that they're working on it. I think that's a really good move for them, and we'll see when they confirm it. There'll probably be news late this year, early next year.
Yeah, I mean, did they even show a trailer? Wasn't it just like a 10-second teaser?
No, nothing. It was literally just a chat. There was nothing more than a chat.
Right, Chris, why should I care about Metroid? I've never played Metroid. Why are people losing their shit about this? Tell me why. I've never played Metroid. I don't get it. I don't know why people love it so much.
Well, the connection went there, but I think you were saying, why should you care about Metroid?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
So the thing is, Metroid was a genre-busting game of its time. It's a 2D. It started off as a 2D shooter, and then later on became a 3D shooter. Always puzzle elements. Have you heard of the genre Metroidvania, Colin?
Yes, I have.
Well, you will have heard of that because of Metroid. So you play as Samus, you journey through space, trying to take down these things called Metroids, which are these big alien suckers. In later games, you would take on other mysterious forces. But we haven't had a proper Metroid game for a really long time. The last one was the sort of... it was for 3DS, and it was not very well received because people wanted actual Metroid. And it wasn't very well liked. People didn't seem to be a fan of it, and the general receipt was, "We don't want this game. Give us proper Metroid." Metroid Prime is a 3D series, but they've always been shooters with a puzzle element, and they've always been just really solidly wonderful games with this really real sense of dread, sense of creepiness, and Samus is just this really kick-ass, cool character who gets the job done. And so what we had announced at Nintendo Direct was Metroid Prime 4 will come out on Switch. It was the teaseriest of teasery trailers, but also a bit of news that a lot of people skipped over because it kind of came out later on, is that Metroid Samus Returns is getting remade for 3DS to have 3D visuals and a new color palette. I think the original was a SNES game, maybe a NES game, and it comes out on 3DS on September the 15th. We'll embed a trailer so you can watch it. It's 2D. It's a classic. People love Metroid. They're really just wonderful, great games. I think you'd like them, Colin.
Maybe I should play one at some point in my life. Hey?
I mean, Prime, you could play, you could pick up a GameCube and Metroid Prime 1 for tuppence, and the Metroid Prime series are just incredible. Really solid games, really solid 3D puzzle shooters with an amazing amount of lore and story and suspense. They're really great.
Wow, you've got me really hyped up now. I will check it out.
Yeah. Do you want the other bit of 3DS news whilst we're on it? Then we'll go back to Switch. Is another sort of rebrand, which is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which I believe originally was out for, I think, Game Boy Advance. It was the original RPG for Mario and Luigi, and now it's getting remade for 3DS, along with a attachment game called Bowser's Minions, which will see you playing as Koopas. Now, this is a kind of RPG fun game from Nintendo. People really love Mario and Luigi RPGs. They really lap them up. And this is coming out October the 6th. There's a trailer, which we've embedded, obviously, on the article. And it's a full remake, plus Bowser's Minion stuff. What more could you want?
Yeah, it came out on the original Game Boy Advance. Looking here. Wow, 2003.
It looks really good. I'm imagining it will be excellent.
Have we got gameplay footage of how it will look?
Yes, it's in the. We'll embed it on our thingy.
Oh, it looks very nice, very pretty, very 3D. Yeah, it looks like the perfect game for 3DS. So that's cool. All these Mario titles, just so much. But what goes better with two Mario games? Another one with Super Mario, or just Mario. Is it Super Mario or Mario Odyssey? I think it's just Super.
I think it's Super Mario Odyssey, isn't it?
Mario Odyssey. So this is this. How would you describe it? It's an open world 3D. Well, they call it a globe-trotting adventure, and they released this trailer for it, and it looks insane. Probably my favorite trailer from E3, to be honest with you. It starts off with a massive T-Rex, and then it goes into different places you can play and different. Basically, the thing we take away from this is that you can take over the bodies of pretty much anything in the world, it looks like, by throwing your hat on them. So
it's so cool, isn't it? Like, there's a really good bit in the trailer where you're kind of jumping from platform to platform by possessing people with your hat.
Yeah, and then he's driving a moped, which is also pretty cool. Highlight. Yeah. But what's awesome about this is so many different looking environments and worlds. There's Bowser wearing a white hat for some reason. It looks insane. It looks so all over the place. You know, it's just like you think you get the sense of what the game's going to be like and how it's going to look, and then it shows you something completely different, like throwing hats at crates and jumping up lighthouses and jumping over skyscrapers and taking over the bodies of normal humans. It's crazy. One bit he takes over the body of a frog, but then he goes inside the mind of a frog, and there's a level inside the frog's head.
It looks amazing, doesn't it? I'm so keen. It's just bonkers. The soundtrack is bonkers. We'll embed a trailer. For me, it's the must-watch trailer from E3.
Yeah,
it's such a curveball direction for them. I'm really excited to play it.
What's really cool is that whenever you take over the body or the skin of a character, they get a little moustache, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I think it looks awesome. And I was pumped for this game anyway, but this has got me even more excited. And we've got a release date as well. It's coming out in October, the 27th of October. So
how far?
Not that far away. Is this a game you'll be picking up, Chris, straight away? Or will you wait?
Yeah. My Switch and PlayStation balance is really good at the moment because basically over the next 6 months, it's mainly Switch titles. And then after that, it's right back on board with all these massive PlayStation titles that are coming out early next year.
Amazing. And
yeah, it's a really good time to be me.
And there's me and my Xbox waiting for Crackdown 3 to come out.
Don't worry, I'll be there soon, mate.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, I think, was that the main news week? Oh, no. Oh, my God. I've forgotten the most exciting and the biggest news story for E3. How could I forget? Chris, do you remember, now cast your mind back a couple of years, do you remember a little device that was known as the the PlayStation Vita?
I vaguely have a recollection. Was that Game Boy Advance attachment?
The world's most expensive paperweight, basically, is what it was, with £2,000 memory cards and crap accessories. Well, Chris, the PlayStation Vita made an appearance at E3 2017. I am not shitting you. They actually mentioned the PlayStation Vita because Undertale, the very strange retro-style RPG from Toby Fox, has been announced for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. That's very exciting, isn't it? Are you familiar with this game?
Yeah, that is cool. Sort of. I know people like it, but I've not really played it or anything.
It's an interesting game. The game puts the fates of everyone you encounter in your hands, and you determine who lives and who dies, which is cool. Turn-based combat plays out in a bullet hell style to avoid damage, and you can either attack or defuse the battle through speech. Undertale accounts for the decisions you make, each with consequences that affects the events of the story and your conversations with the game's characters. So it sounds really interesting. It had crazy good reviews when it came out on PC back in 2015, I think it came out. It was a couple of years ago, or maybe it was earlier than that, I'm not too sure. It got 9s and 10s across the board. So really interested to see this, and it's really cool that it's coming out to Vita as well. Seeing if we've actually got... No, we haven't got a firm release date. We just know it's coming out at some point this summer, which could be any time now, because technically I think it is summer. I think it's summer solstice in about a week or so. So that I was really excited that Vita got mentioned. It almost like us. Basically, I saw this news, and because I wanted to highlight how surprised and shocked I was, I went to my kitchen, got myself a drink, sipped a bit of the drink, and then spat it out, just to emphasize how amazed I was. So this is really cool, and it's an epic game as well. So it looks like the sort of thing that'd be perfect on the Vita. So very, very excited about that. So Chris, out of everything that was revealed, everything that was discussed at E3, what was your highlight or your high point, and what game are you most excited about? Just one game.
I think it was seeing Super Mario Odyssey, because I don't think we have ever played a game like it. And I kind of feel like every other game we saw, like obviously people show their best stuff at E3, and like some really cool things on display, some really nice like surprises, some really excellent games, but this looks like just a completely new experience, much like when Breath of the Wild was first shown off, and that it's just really captivated me. So I would say it's the Super Mario Odyssey trailer.
Good choice. Good choice. And that was a close second for me. My one, without a doubt, has to be Skyrim for PlayStation VR.
Oh, well, no, sorry. I just assumed that Skyrim was the top one. I was working on the next one.
No, so I think Mario Odyssey was a close second, but my highlight, and the one that took me a bit by surprise because I wasn't expecting to see a game like it for some reason, I don't know, just surprised me, was Anthem. As I've said, the game from BioWare, because it looks so darn cool. It looked absolutely incredible. You're skydiving, you're going through this forest, the facial animations were great, and I know obviously there's negative connotations because it was the Mass Effect team and potentially they were taken away from Andromeda, but I think this game is really cool, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more details on it as we get further down the line. So Anthem was my number one, and second was Mario Odyssey again. But it's really just cemented that in my mind that I do definitely want to Switch. You know, like the games they showed were incredible. Rocket League, Skyrim, games I haven't played. I have played Rocket League a little bit, but I've not played it that much because I only played it when it was released for free on Xbox for a weekend. So, you know, playing it on Switch would be cool because I can play it on the go, which would be amazing, like a handheld thing. And Skyrim, I've never played, so, you know, great time to play. And you've got Mario, and, you know, there's Zelda, and there's Mario Kart.
Really quickly, what were you surprised wasn't announced? And I'll tell you what the one for me is that I thought, so, you know, Red Dead's been delayed until next year.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get a reveal for Borderlands 3 because they're both Take-Two, and there was this leaked listing of it in a shop. So it looks like there is Borderlands 3 on the way. I was just really surprised that we didn't see. Like I thought it would be there. But I kind of thought PlayStation would bring it out or something, you know?
Yeah, it's a good shout, because Borderlands is still a big thing at the moment, obviously with the Telltale game and all the incarnations of it, the prequels that there were and the many sequels. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. It's been very quiet from them. Good point. My surprise, I mean,
yeah.
well, I mean, not really, because most games that were announced last year were there this year as well, so there wasn't really anything missing. I mean, probably the main surprise I had was that there wasn't that big killer game from Microsoft. I did think, because there was discussions about it in the build-up to Microsoft's conference, I did think we would see something from the Halo universe, because anything with Halo on it is automatically going to get people excited. So I didn't know whether we get a new proper Halo game, one of the spin-off games like Halo was, but no, I was interested. I was very surprised and interesting to see they didn't bother to do anything Halo-wise, because I guess they wanted to put the main focus on the Xbox One X. So yeah, that's probably the main thing. But I mean, in terms of other games, all the games that I was interested in from last year, they pretty much showed this year, to be honest with you. And obviously, we didn't get anything from Red Dead Redemption, did we? I think you just mentioned that.
No, but they don't tend to come to E3, do they?
They do their own conferences, don't they, Rocksteady? Because they're massive. They can do that, and people will come and flock. Didn't they do that for GTA, the last GTA game? They did like their own conference, and like people flocked there to see details of the online thing and the campaign.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, they got the money to do that. Well, Daniel Radcliffe's got all the money because obviously he's the big boss of Rocksteady. So, you get the reference?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a program.
Thanks.
Very clever.
All the best, yeah. Cheers. Well, I think that's it for our E3 debrief for 2017. It's been very emotional. It'd be interesting to go back to all the years, because we've done a debrief episode for every E3 that we've been a podcast for. So it'd be interesting to compile them all and hear what was discussed in each one. Hear how excited we were for games that maybe never came out, or were crap, or were delayed heavily, or still haven't been released. Or it'd be interesting to go back. I might have to have a listen to that. Or not.
Last year it was Horizon, wasn't it? It was the big one for PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, of course it was.
And Uncharted had just come out, so Uncharted must have just come out. And I can't remember if they teased the DLC or not. No, I don't think they did.
I think actually Rise of the Tomb Raider, that was 2 years ago now, wasn't it? That was 2015. That was first announced for Xbox.
Time goes so fast.
That's crazy. We had Gears of War 4 was detailed last year as well for Xbox, which was a big one. And obviously Mass Effect Andromeda, we got a trailer for that, didn't we? Where you're like running around and they showed like gameplay footage where you're like going over you're jumping over these obstacles with your jetpack.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, this looks okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Like all the E3s just blend into one. I can't believe the Rise of the Tomb Raider was 2 years ago. That's insane. That's crazy. Anyway, right, let's wrap things up.
I think they announced Crash Bandicoot last year, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Where the guy walked out.
I think that was one of the big. Yeah.
And he had the shadow of Crash behind him as he was walking on the beach. That was so cool. When's that coming out? That must be coming out soon.
Soon, a couple of weeks. Oh, also, Oceanhorn comes out for Switch next week.
Yes, I think that game will be perfect on Switch. You should definitely check it out. It's a gorgeous, stunning game. Perfect. You should definitely.
Well, hopefully, hopefully I will be.
Definitely do it. Oh, right. We nudge. One final thing, I've been completely addicted to 10 Ton Spell Spire over the past couple of weeks or so. I've been playing it constantly. That's the spelling game where it's also a RPG as well, where you have to defeat demons and things by spelling words. Honestly, obsessed with it. I've beaten all the levels now. I've beaten 99 levels, and I've got to do the last one with the big boss, but it's so good. It's so addictive, and it's easily the best game 10 Tons have ever released. So if you've not played Spell Spire, definitely check it out. It's great. Anyway, right, let's wrap things up. Chris, do some housekeeping for me, please.
You can email us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. You can tweet us at Handheld Podcast. You can go to the Facebook by searching Heroes of Handheld. YouTube, search for Heroes of Handheld. Why not go and on our website, heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com, where you can see all the trailers and links we talk about and listen to old episodes. And we should thank as well the Schnauzer Radio Orchestra, whose music insert coin from the album Music for a 1950s Video Game is absolutely stellar and is the theme tune for this very program. And Colin and me will be back with I think we're doing a sandwich episode next week.
Yes, looks like we will be.
But we'll be still coming down hard from E3, so there won't be that much news anyway. And all throughout the week, if things catch your eye, you want us to talk about, at Handheld Podcast on Twitter, say hello. And at Colin J. Bird, I'm at Enter Soundman. If you do want to do it that way as well, we'd love to hear from you. And I've put my Switch code out on Twitter, so if you want to add me as a friend, go to the Heroes of Handheld Twitter page, and you can find it from there.
Lovely. I think that's everything. Well done, Chris. Well, many thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back in one sort of form next week. But until next week, enjoy playing your handheld gaming devices. Goodbye.